And let's try how I would go about doing a longer pose, say a 2-minute or 3-minute pose. And here I would again start looking at what's happening to my spine. And I'm going to look at this where our structural studies really come in handy. I'm going to think about that foot as a triangle. Look at the arch between those two knees. Now, once I have the arch of that spine, I have his head. I'm going to look at the angle of his shoulders and the angle of his hips. And I find that midline is where that spine is, and I can see there's more of the rib cage on one side than on the other. And as a consequence, his belly button is also going to be more towards the one side than the other. There's his gluteus, pubic mound. And now I can try going from larger to thinner. From larger to thinner. And I get more or less a feeling of the musculature. And again, I see a little bit of the gluteus here. And I'm going to go from larger to thinner, from larger to thinner. Up here, the same thing happens. Now I'm going to notice that his elbows are more or less at the same height. This arm is moving up. There's his deltoid muscle, his armpit. And we're going from larger to thinner. Larger to thinner. I ran out of room for his hand here. And again, I have the deltoids, I have the armpit, the latissimus here, and I'm going to go larger to thinner, larger to thinner. And in a few minutes, I have a feeling for this body. You notice that at no time did I really spend doing contours by themselves. Now, if I'm working with mass, I can use the side of my charcoal. Remember when we did our planar analysis, and I'm going to say, this is the first of his quads, the front of his quads, and I'm going to go darker there. The underside of his kneecap here joins his shin. Over on this side, I see his little bit of the glute here. And I'm going to use that planar analysis to come down and start to depict what is in the front, what is in the side. Here I'm seeing the gluteus medial muscle, and I'm seeing the underside of that muscle here. This needed to angle out more. All right, so now I'm looking at his rib cage, and I can see all of this part of the abs are contracting. And I'm going to put that in shading this whole part of the body, even though in reality I can see it's in light, but because I'm doing light, 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 I'm keeping it here. And so I'm going to have that muscle. All right, so we're seeing deltoid, bicep and deltoid are in light, and so it's the tricep that's in shadow. That's the underside of the arm. Moving up here, again, my deltoid is in light, and the tricep, the plane of the tricep, is in shadow. Front of his face is in shadow. Of course, the whole ocular is in shadow. And so you can see that even without doing a real portrait here, we get a feeling of the planes of the face, of the neck. There's that bonnet string right there coming down. This is the world's worst vine charcoal.